and take it away when you wish to, please.
Evening all. Colleague to my right is Faisal, to my left is Vicky, and I'm Celia. Right. When we were asked to do this task, my colleagues and I got together and we looked at it and we thought, you know what? Why use an existing industry? Why not just develop one for ourselves? So what we're going to talk to you about is a new business startup idea. Our presentation is going to be giving you a brief context of the taxi industry, which is where the idea falls into. I'll explain that in a minute. The different types of innovations that we're going to be looking at, how we're going to organize our firm in terms of organizing for innovation, market pull needs-driven innovation, what sources of innovation we're going to be looking at and developing, search strategies for innovation, some of the ones that we will be using, a brief overview in terms of the 5G innovation, although things like technological trajectory and stuff are much more relevant for the latter presentation. But anyway, we'll talk that, and then we'll do a very brief summary. In terms of the industry we're looking at, the driverless car will have an impact, absolutely. When we break it down, it will have more of an impact in terms of public transport sector. So if you break it back down to the taxi sector, so we thought we'd just define this very quickly. You have taxis and you have private hire vehicles. Taxis are the ones you just drop, you stop in the street and they brake for you. Private hire vehicles have special license and you have to book them, and it's what you call mini cabs. Now, if you look at the licenses, for England and Wales, in 2013, there was something like 297,000 licenses. Now, if you think of the migration to England alone, that is very small, okay? So my colleagues and I think there is a market here, and we can enter into this market, okay? Now, our innovation falls in the private hire vehicle sector. Now, we're going to develop a company called Independent Lifestyle Cabs. For the purposes of this presentation, we'll call it ILC, or it's Independent Lifestyle Cabs. Now, it's going to have a particular target, a particular focus of people. So it's not going to be a cab for everybody. It's going to be a cab for people with low or no mobility, sort of getting them integrated into society, getting them mobile into society, but in a way that it integrates seamlessly into their lifestyle. And you will see that through the presentation as we go on. Now, interestingly enough, this is a 9 billion industry. 9 billion. So we had a conversation and we thought, we don't need the 9 billion, we just need like 5% of the 9 billion, especially when we start. So this is our idea and this is how we're going to start. Now, my colleague Faisal is going to take you through how we look at different types of innovation.
Bearing in mind that successful innovation is essentially about positive change, we look at the 4 categories where such change can take place. The paradigm. Paradigm refers to changes in the underlying mental and business model which shapes what an organization does. In the case of ILC, these vehicles are not just cabs for hire, but a mode of transportation that seamlessly fits into one's lifestyle, offering independence and mobility. It fits seamlessly into key elements of one's lifestyle to enable mobility and inclusion in society. So in terms of the product, we want to develop ILC as a brand associated with reliability, accessibility, quality, and innovation. Our long-term goal is to be a beacon for private hire vehicle firm in the world by being aware of what's on the market and what our users need. In terms of the process, the way the firm does things is going to be under continuous quality improvement involving all the staff. For example, to explore how we embed our services in care homes and hospitals. Also, when case plans are being put together for these clients, ILC is going to be integrated at the beginning of the process. In terms of attending their appointments, activities, and daily day-to-day social plans. In terms of the position, all bookings are going to be done electronically. ILC will formally introduce itself to its clients before first use to establish any needs that will be required to cater for and to build rapport with clients. ILC is a firm differentiated by it. We care and your independence is important to us. Also, driverless cars have the potential to be disruptive to the taxi industry. ILC will provide an alternative to driverless cars through its product and process, doing what we do but better around a basic platform, technology or brand. During the business model presentation, you will see how the use of technology and developing the brand will demonstrate this. This innovation is not bringing in a new industry, but creating a process and product, i.e. lifestyle and needs to an already existing industry. To the industry, it's incremental, but to the private vehicle firm, it's radical. ILC will be first mover with a challenge to keep up imitators and competitors. I'll pass it over to my colleague.
Good evening, everyone. So we're going to look at the organizing for innovation. Basically, innovation is not simply influenced by the structure, but the organization process. It has its three criteria, which is majorly important for all the organization. The one is leadership, and the second is teamwork, and third is participation. So the three criteria is very, very important for any kind of organization to achieve their goals. And next we're going to move on with the organization innovation, how they compete with the driverless car, and they are obtaining competitive advantage through reconfiguring their organization. And a good example we took as a good one. So we took it from the TQM, which is Total Quality Management, so which is very important for the new organization firm to apply that, and they can have the quality and continuous innovation of techniques can be followed by the process of TQM. And we are going to look at the components of ILC, which we are going to apply to our firm. So the first one is the values and beliefs. So we have our own values and belief to face the driverless car. So we are going to come up with the own quality and the service to the customers. And the next point is assuring quality, which is very, very important in this organization. So we need to give assurance to our clients so that we can have a well-reputed to compete in the market. So the next is a process management, and we have our own techniques like monitoring and measuring and how to operate this system in our IT department. So we're going to look at the quality how it is managed in our ILC organization. So we have our automatic inspector system, which the computer automatically identify its own problem, and it resolve the problems on its own. And we have our own strategic framework, and we have our own objectives, and individual feedback can be get from any kind of person, can be employees or can be outsourcing. So next slide. And now we are going to look at the needs-driven innovation. So during business model presentation, we are going to look at the demand pool and technological and price-driven innovation. So in this presentation, we're going to focus only in the internal observation and employees. And first thing, continuous improvement is the heart of ILC. So that is the main criteria, and our employee has their own feedback, so they are encouraged to come up with the radical innovation ideas, so they can have their free-minded to talk about the any kind of thoughts in their mind, so which will help the ILC organization to come up and compete with the driverless car. And we're going to look at the employee-driven innovation. So basically, it is a practice they can learn and create their interest, and they can come up with the new result. So which they can get help from the employees, and which is helpful for the ILC organization as well. So and then we are going to look at the when we are offering a job to our drivers, we won't give a 0% contract. So we are going to remove that system out of this organization, and we are going to implement a option called bonus and shares for the firm, so they can have a high salary which is fixed for everyone, and they have a own criteria to innovate their own service, and they can have meetings whenever they want with the higher authority management, and to achieve the achievement of success, which is helped by the employees. So employees are the basic stepstone for the organization to achieve our goals. So to achieve the paramount. So we're going to look at the social change. So introducing a driverless car can be a disruptive, but our idea will offer an alternate solution to compete the driverless car. Social innovation. So basically, business statistic relates to changes in humans and institutional and social capital that leads to organization efficiency to improve the competitiveness in the market, and including the organization restructuring and modernizing the firm, which is definitely needed in this model world. So okay, and the next is the staff will be having their own culture, so they are very friendly with everyone, so they can have their own views. That is, innovation and complaints and suggestions can be shared among themselves. So I'd like to call Celia to hand over the slides.
Right. So, for those of you who are sleeping, wake up. Now, where will our innovations come from? We've got this new firm. Where are we going to look for innovation? So, looking at advertising, basically the purpose of this will be to uncover and amplify what their needs are. I don't know if you guys remember, but a couple of weeks back, we had the guy from BT, and one of the things he talked about was a new software that was being developed that will sort of provide advertising just for you. Advertising to sort of interest you and get you involved. So one of the things we're looking at, so our vehicles, our fleet of vehicles, our cabs, we have screens on them, in them which advertise, continuous advertising going on. But because we have the data about our clients, these adverts will be sort of tailored to their needs. We'll be selling people what they need. We'll also be selling people what if they know they need, but they don't even know they need it, through using this sort of software. So that's one of the links. The other thing about advertising as well is will be a very good source of income generation for our business, but we'll tell you a lot more about that at the next presentation. Now, inspiration. The fact of the matter is the Archimedes moment very rarely happens. Very rarely does it happen that people go, oh, I have a bright, innovative idea. The fact of the matter is most of the ideas have already been thought of, they've already been done. Very rarely is something new come across. However, with ILC, we're going to make sure our employees' work in an environment where they can't help but to be inspired. You know how sometimes you walk into a building and you look at things and you go, oh, I think this will be good. It's going to be that sort of environment that's going to be created. So that's what we're going to be looking at in terms of inspiration. With the knowledge push, now, we intend to be at the forefront of this because the idea behind it is, so for example, in our cabs, at the moment there's a lot of research going on about bionic legs and limbs and stuff like that. So instead of people using wheelchairs, they'll be using these bionic limbs and stuff. So in our cabs, we'll have like ports where people can charge their legs or charge their wheelchair, use that. So it's by linking up with these people and making, new suggestions and bringing new things into the market that people can actually use, our clients can actually use to do. Now, in terms of the design-driven innovation, now we're going to be linking here with not just researchers in research and development people in the universities or in other organizations, but we're going to be linking in with people like car manufacturers. So an example would be we want our car, where possible, to be solar-driven cars. We want to benefit the environment as well as our company. We want to link in with people like Apple and Google and people at the forefront of technology that can do that. So I'm sure we can have a lot more discussion about that during the networking. Now, in terms of need pull, at the moment, a lot of cab offices, they just sit there and wait for you to call them. No. ILC will have a particular group of people. It's definitely needs. It's going to be for us to meet their needs. So when they're in hospital, for example, and their case files are being sorted, at the moment they say, they give you the date to see the consultant, they give you how long you're going to be there, and so on and so forth. As part of that process, we're going to be integrated enough so ILC come up, so like book taxi. Automatically, an email is sent to us to say, you will need to book Mr. So-so, Mrs. So-so at a particular time. We then call them, hello, Mrs. So-so and so-so. We understand you have an appointment and so-so and so-so date. What are your needs? So basically, it is a firm, it's for their needs. It's basically about seamlessly integrating their life into their lives without the issue of, oh, now I have to get a car. We're already there, we've already done that. Now, in terms of users as innovators, well, we'll be doing this throughout the year, by the way, and we'll be monitoring annually. We'll get users in to come in and give us their feedback. First of all, every employee in ILC will be trained to elicit information out of people to find out what their needs are without actually asking, so what do you need? It's basically you'll be trained to have rapport and be, friendly and understand what your needs are. The other thing as well is when our users come in, we can use the opportunities to get the firms that we are linked with, like Apple or Google or hospitals or care homes, whatever, to come in and pilot whatever new innovation they have, so that these people, our users, can give feedback. So we're not just part of a network, we're also part of a network that gives, into this network. So if, say for example, Apple comes up with a software that, I don't know, reads your mind before you even open your mouth. That sounds ridiculous now, I've said it out loud. Anyway, our clients will be the people that will pilot this technology. They'll be in a position to do this. In terms of exploring multiple futures, we're going to do this in two different ways. So when we have our monthly meetings, there will be a section called something like, so what happens next? What's next? Okay? We cannot stay stagnant, we have to keep moving. So at the moment, what we're providing is innovative. How do we keep the innovation going? How do we expand? How do we become something else? So for example, maybe during one of our meetings, somebody will say, well, you know what? How about we, do a booze cruise for, not that I'm encouraging drinking, not. But it's an option will be, how about we introduce other dimensions to our business? So instead of just taking them to hospital and shopping and stuff like that, we can take them on night outs and things like that. So those are exploring. The other part of it as well is where we network with people where they have this is with organizations of different backgrounds, where they have needs, and then we can see how we can diversify and get those going. Okay? Now, my colleague, Faisal.
There are various such strategies for innovation, but we are going to look at the following 5 strategies. First of all, sending out scouts. ILC will use this search strategy by sending out scouts whose role is to actively search for innovation ideas. They could do this by attending conferences, going to research industries to get information, and exploring multiple features. I also use this search technique to explore alternative possible features using scenario planning techniques to investigate various types of innovation and develop innovation options from that. Using the web, I also will use the power of the web through online communities and virtual world. Working with active users, I also will team up with the product and service users to come up with ways, we'll team up with product and service users to gather information. Their ideas and insight could be a starting point for ILC to move in a new direction. And last but not the least, deep diving. ILC will study client feedback, surveys, and how they use the service to capture what users actually do rather than what they say they do. Now pass it on to Vignesh.
So now, ILC have its own characteristics, which has the process of creating overall organization and system integration, including the external networking. And the next is being a part of innovation network can be challenging, but benefits of being a part of it, it's very rewarding. And some obvious network of ILC is linking with the wheelchair makers and the hospitals, care homes, and the vehicle manufacturers. These are the main criteria we are servicing to the public. And flatter and more flexible organization structure we have, and decision-making power is applied to each and every one of the employees in the organization, and our staff has their own decision-making, and the innovation thoughts can be shared among the organization. So there's no call like only the top level that management has to take the decision-making, but so we won't say that, but we are most welcome coming up with their own views and ideas. And next is, we have an internal database. We have hundreds and thousands of clients' data, so whenever they call us, so we can easily track them. And next is the product development and taking opportunities from new technology of process, which will help our firms to compete with the driverless car, and the external electronic linkages are implemented by the ILC. We are plugging into the Apple and Samsung and any kind of organization in the world. So we have a quality of service we can provide it, and we have a update and service to maintain the services. And I would like to call Celia. She'll be summarizing about the ILC organization.
23.5 minutes now, by the way.
Last slide. Right, so in terms of our summary, we thought, during our meeting, we thought, how do we summarize this? We thought we use it as an opportunity to have a sort of clear, to check and see if we have a very clear innovation strategy. So we thought we look at search, select, and then really ask ourselves the question, do we have an innovative organization plan? Now, so in terms of search, we're looking at various opportunities. Now, the driverless car innovation is there. You can't help it, it's already happened to us. The shock has already hit, what we do with it and how we get around it. Now, ILC is going to have a very good job of having to keep itself on the ground, keeping an eye on the environment, keeping an eye on the technological and societal changes, and it's important for it to be able to detect signals of changes. Because all of these innovation and all of these changes, they're going to continue happening, and we want to be a firm that's a sort of a fast mover, not followers. We'll also ensure, as you've heard from my colleagues and I, the recruitment of employees, they'll have decision-making powers. They'll be empowered enough to feel part of the organization, so they can buy shares, they can be part of the organization, they can promote stuff, they can deal with complaints, they can, share innovative ideas and not be scared of doing so. In terms of select, the private hire car vehicles, like we're looking at a particular group of people here and meeting their needs. So, and what we're trying to do is seamlessly marry into their lifestyle. So in terms of having competent staff, appropriately maintain vehicle and quality and the quality to check throughout as we go through all the processes that we are on track for this. Now, do we have an organization that we can say is innovative? Well, we had a discussion and we think so, but then again, what do we know? Anyway, we think it's like in terms of the culture, in terms of the learning culture that we're going to ingrain in the organization, it's like employing the Keynesian approach technique to get everybody involved. In terms of not giving people zero contract, but by actually giving our drivers salaries. So instead of them only making money when they get it, it's really going to encourage them as well. And also in terms of encouraging employees to be shareholders. Clearly, we want to be market leaders and not market followers. And so we will ensure and Endeavour will make sure that all of that happens. Now, we will be recruiting in 3 months' time, so feel free to send in your CVs. Any questions?
Yes. Okay, I mean, it's clearly you've looked at the theory and you've looked at what a creative organisation should look like.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about a cab firm here, right?
Yes.
If they're away at conferences all the time, who's going to be driving the cars? That's an extreme point, but the point is that you're building a lot of overhead in here into what is still quite a competitive industry. You heard from one of your competitors earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
So, how can you be sure that this is, how sure are you managed the balance right between creativity, which you've clearly given some attention to, and operational efficiency?
Processes. Now, in terms of how you book the cabs, there is technically no human involvement at all. It's all done through technology. So the information is pinged to the hospital, it comes straight to us. So that does not have any manual handling of it. The only time when that comes in, there's a team of people, and not a lot of people, who then phone you just to create that rapport to make sure you're there. So this is where we put people. In areas where we can use technology, we use technology. We don't necessarily use humans if we can use technology. We use staff, employees, to go out and actually do the footwork where we can get technology to do so. So for example, in terms of things like
No, you answered the question.
I was just going to elaborate.
Learn when to stop.
Fine.
The second thing is, okay, there are going to be safety issues, and one of the technologies with which you're going to be competing is going to lead to significant increases in safety. Now, you are essentially going to be abjuring that technology in order to instill a degree of human touch and creativity. How much creativity can you permit in the driving process while still preserving a competitive level of safety?
Okay. Do you want to, okay. Not that I do all the talking, by the way. They do,
I know, I understood that, but I mean, also you're on
Right.
29 minutes and 4 seconds, so I need an answer quick.
Right. So basically what happens is, at the moment, because we'll be linking into forefront of technology, our drivers will be driving with the latest sat-nav, with the latest, at the moment, for those of you who are driving, if you go in close to something, there's a beeping sound. I clearly don't drive, so I don't know what it's called. So the cars will be sort of quite... That's it, thank you very much. There will be sensors, they will have infrared technologies to make them even safer, to prevent accidents. So that's all going to be part of the technological part of it. That's why it's going to be at the heart of it. It's going to be technology to minimize those accidents.
Okay, that's it. Right, we have 2 presentations to go.